What exactly are stablecoins? I'm sure you must have seen the term pop up during industry events, LinkedIn posts, YouTube videos, or having conversations with an acquaintance who thinks they know about the crypto space, but maybe not so much. But stablecoins have been a big conversation topic in 2025, which is what we're exploring in the seventh episode of the Simplified Payments podcast with Adam Kai, the CEO and founder of Borgo.co. So without further ado, please sit back and enjoy the show. Okay, so Adam, how we begin this podcast is by asking you a few fun questions. So I'm gonna name you some coins, and you got to tell me if they're fake or if they're real.
Okay,
Start. Okay. So the first one is Solana.
real,
Then how about Chainlink?
real,
Lunar Chip,
fake,
Pixelmint,
fake.
fake,
Yeah,
Avalanche.
used to be real. Now I'm not sure.
Okay, there you go. And the last one is Hyperchain Credit.
Yeah,
100 out of 100. Adam knows his coins.
yeah, exactly.
My next question would be, if you had a meme coin, what would it be called, and what would be the idea behind having an Atom meme coin?
A meme coin. You mean the ticker of the token?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
Dogecoin or whatever it is. Yeah.
oh, that's a good question. Um, yeah, like I probably will just call it Adam because Adam is supposed to be the first man of the world in the world, right? The first man, literally, along with Eva, to be, the birth of the humanity, right? So it kind of have its special meaning.
Love it. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
And my last fun question is, what is your number one tip for delivering a great TEDx talk or a keynote in general?
The tips to deliver a great talk, essentially.
Yes.
I think more importantly, is just be yourself and then naturally. Like don't over, script it, right? Trying to really be yourself, be who you are,
Yeah.
and speak out the things you believe in. That would typically touch people. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Now, going to the topic of discussion that we're here today, we've been hearing a lot about stable coins, Adam,
Hmm.
and we'd love to learn more about that. Can you maybe begin with a brief explanation of what stable coins are, and then why are they so important for the future of crypto and digital payments in general?
Sounds good. Yeah. So stablecoin, obviously, by its name. So the purpose of stablecoin is it's being stabled and pegged to a particularly legal tender. And obviously, the most popular ones will be the USD-based stablecoins, such as USDC and USDT. And the original purpose of stablecoin was trying to hedge against the volatilities of cryptocurrencies, and when people didn't like the price of the cryptocurrency, would like to have something more stable to their legal tender without putting money back into your bank account. So they decided to use stablecoin at the early days, right? It's really just trying to hedge against the price volatilities. And the stablecoin recently actually has evolved significantly to become not only a really efficient tool to do the global transmission of the money, right? A lot of country now leveraging stablecoin for the cross-border payments. It's simply because it's fast, it's error-free, it's efficient, and cost-wise, typically is way better than any traditional fiat payment processors, right? So the other reason as well is because stablecoin does provide a great way for people to have a very kind of stable value against USD, especially for the countries that its main currency is not stable, right? So they
Mhm.
also love to use stablecoins as well. So stablecoin is one of the most, I would say, prominent and popular, applications on blockchain or real world assets, however you call it. And I think it's going to continuously to drive its way by clear regulations around the globe, Like we saw the U.S. Genesis Act, we saw Hong Kong, we even saw Canada coming out of the the stablecoin regulation under the federal budget plan. So it's a lot of attention put into this. I think every country is going to catch up with the
Mhm.
legislation around that. So I think it's so far probably just going to be the best digital money, across the globe, and it will service way more than just crypto trading in the future. And also, in addition to the payment, it can also service very well as the base currencies to get access to DeFi. And I think DeFi is also going to be huge in the future. But in order to really have the DeFi activities, in addition to the main tokens, stablecoin, I think will still be the main choice of people trying to gather some yields that is better than what their financial institutions are giving to them. All for the people who are loving, the freedom of having the money in their pocket, which is in the wallet. So yeah, in general speaking, I'm very positive, and I think stablecoin is going to be the first killer app, in addition to Bitcoin itself,
Mhm.
to get the global adoptions.
Yeah, and speaking about that positivity, I read online that Virgo and Volta teamed up for a stablecoin transfer, and I think you just mentioned how it works on maybe an international scale, where you have two countries maybe exchanging funds via stablecoin. So, can you share why that partnership was really important and why it's important for the Canadian crypto and stablecoin space?
Sounds good. Yeah, I think first of all, coming back to my earlier point, that stablecoin is very important to fulfill the remittance purpose in the near future. And one of our business line is called a Virgo Pay, which is global stablecoin on-ramp, off-ramp gateways. Currently, already supporting 23 countries and 10 currencies for people around those countries to be able to on-ramp, off-ramp stablecoin easily, cheap, cost-effective, and in real time. So our vision is trying to first of all get ourselves across 40 to 50 countries coverage, and then we want to make sure that we can leverage that network to allowing people from developing countries to developed nations or vice versa to be able to transfer money at a very affordable rate and also a very fast, efficient manner. And you don't have to wait for days of the traditional Swift transmission, right? And I think Volta is one of the partner who runs a great public protocol, and of course, many protocols, including Volta, is trying to leveraging more stablecoin volumes on those chains. So we'll be supporting Volta, and we will supporting obviously other, prominent, public protocol as well. The end goal is trying to really get our end users to enjoy the benefit of it. And in the end of the day, they don't even have to know what is stablecoin. They don't
Mhm.
even have to understand what is blockchain. All they need to know is they get them, purpose completed by transfer money from one to two with a very good rate.
Oh, that's interesting. And I want to go back to something that you mentioned. You just mentioned that there are some news about stable coins in Canada's recent federal budget. So can you maybe explain, Adam, how is the stable coin regulation approach in Canada different from what you've seen? You mentioned Hong Kong was one, US was one. Are there any differentiating factors you're seeing internationally when compared to Canada?
Well, I think this question is a very interesting one. So before obviously the federal budget plan, so the stablecoin was a little bit, under quite a bit of pressure under Canadian Security Administrator, because most of the security regulators in Canada at the time was considering stablecoin as securities, which is very different than how the rest of the world thinks. But recently, we're seeing that budget plan coming out, clearly outlining that stablecoin, fiat-backed stablecoin, is not securities, and naming its regulators, under supervision of Bank of Canada as well. And obviously, that is first of all is similar to Hong Kong, US, right? Because people would not consider stablecoin as securities. So the second one, I think, for most countries to have stablecoins is also to increase its own country's demand for its country's treasury, bills, right? Basically the attractions for people to buy more of the country's, particularly national debt. So I think US is like obviously as a US stablecoin, you have to buy a lot of US treasuries, right? To put in the bank accounts. and Canada as well want to make sure maintain its main sovereignty, like having a proper sovereignty risk under control. Not everything should be under USD-backed stablecoins. I think that's the same thing for Hong Kong under that legislation. So stablecoin is going to be a way to attract people globally to get more access to that particular country's assets. So every country recognizes the importance of that. And they want to make sure that the reserve of stablecoins is properly reflecting that as well, right? So I think this is a very great tool to help the country to grow as well, and also to help the financial system to be more like more freedom, essentially.
And do you think that because of that security aspect that you mentioned, is that why maybe some platforms might be, a little restricted in their approach of offering stable coins in Canada? Do you believe because of that security aspect?
Of course, that was obviously the current status quo, and people just have to live with it until the law actually finally passed, and the clarity was provided to the market.
And I want to kind of combine two questions into one. But what would be your kind of key message to policymakers post you looking at the federal budget and the mention of stablecoins who want to kind of back up stablecoins but are hesitant or maybe are trying to understand this space a little bit better? Is there any kind of innovation that you feel would be a good touch point that would kind of make them understand this space a little bit better?
I think this is always a question, obviously, from the regulators that, how important stablecoin is to its particular economy, right? Or to the citizens of the countries. So I think this is what industry is trying to lobby, right? Trying to use the data to show, how much volumes have been processed blockchain for stablecoin. In fact, it actually has exceeded Visa, if I didn't remember wrong, the data for the processing, right? It's actually a huge network now, considering how many transactions every day happening over there. And also the ability for many countries, like for example, for Canada, so far we still don't have a real-time payment rail other than e-transfers, right? But e-transfer only have limited amount of money you can send. So having a stable coin, which is digital money, like a way better digital money than any, I would call it, the traditional e-money, it is going to, in general, increase the productivities for the economic activities, right? So I think they also have to recognize that. And the last thing is what the regulator does care is about, the risk control, anti-money laundering, scam protections. Even though, stablecoin on a blockchain application does have certain level of the privacy, obviously perspective of it because it's, no KYC, etc. But blockchain forensic analysis, technology has been evolving significantly in the past couple of years. In fact, the money on chain now is very transparent. You know where it goes, where it lands, and all that kind of stuff. It's so much easier now for the government if they would like to target to figure out where its source and where it goes. So this is going to be in general better than any kind of cash or kind of any other ways of doing it. I think government does recognize that, and that's why now they're trying to obviously put a lot more attention to this.
Yeah, having that digital asset would make many avenues a little bit more easier for them, would be the kind of mindset they would have to go in with. And my last question, Adam, for you would be, what are some exciting things you and the Virgo team are working on and looking forward to bringing in 2026? You know, the Volta thing that we just spoke about, but is there any like bigger things you are working on that you're excited for in 2026?
Oh yeah, actually 2026 is going to be a huge year for us. So a couple of things. So one is obviously we're going to build, the global stablecoin payment networks covering, 40 plus countries, but not only for on-ramp, off-ramp, but for the remittance as well. So this is like a huge project. Second, our self-custody wallet V, is going to be the DeFi super gateways we're building. So we're actually going to be one of the most fun DeFi wallet and also most properly built, DeFi wallet for people to get access to the top-notch applications on DeFi with native build within the app. So it does smooth, the user experiences and also give people a huge amount of access with the proper design on the go within the app. So I think in the future, more and more people are going to leaning toward using their wallet and participate into the DeFi activities rather than put money at centralized exchanges. I think this is going to be a trend as well. So Wallet V is going to be in a real good position to capture that trend. So last thing is we're definitely looking to grow our global brand as well as the ability to access capital, etc. And we're actually already planning for the go public plan in the United States for the Nasdaq listing. So if everything goes well, fingers crossed, we may look at that sometime next year to get that completed.
That's amazing. I wish you all the best for it. And, thank you so much again, Adam, because this was such a big conversation that happened this year when everyone was just talking about stablecoins, but there wasn't one kind of definitive conversation that people were having that what is stablecoin, what is happening, and how can it be used from a regulation standpoint? Why are countries so keen about having these discussions? So thank you so much to you and your expertise. You're always so kind and generous with your information. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting.
I want to thank Adam Kai, the CEO and founder of Virgo.co, for joining us today and providing his expertise on the topic of stablecoins. If you have any questions for us or Adam, please do comment them down below. Please don't forget to like and share this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the episode transcript, please visit ParamountCommerce.com. Thank you so much for tuning into the Simplified Payments podcast presented by Paramount Commerce. I'm Bharat Mehta, and I'll see you soon.